To get started, the first thing you need to do is head over to replicate.com, create an account if you don't already have one. After creating your account, the next thing you need to do is search for this module up here, which is Stability-AI/SDXL. This is a really powerful open source module that allows you to generate extraordinary images. Like, you can just imagine it and bring it to reality. Some amazing projects like Imagine Art actually use this. So I'm going to first of all demonstrate a few things here, and we're going to go ahead and implement it in Python. So let's generate a really good image. So I'm going to say ultra realistic photo of a strong man inside rain with blonde coy hairs and blue eyes. So you can just click on run. So once you click on run, it's going to take a few seconds. So let's just open the logs here. You can see how fast this is. So it's going to actually generate this image in a matter of seconds. So you can see how ultra realistic this image look. You can actually go ahead and generate any amount of image you actually want to generate. So with that being said, let's get started. So just click on Python here. Once you click on Python, you're going to see this link to actually store replicate. So I'm just going to click on copy here and head over to my Visual Studio Code. I've created a new folder called Stability-SDXL, and I've created an environmental variable. So if I see the out and list it, you're going to see my environmental variable called venv. So let me just see it back into my stability. Let's into my folder. So if you're not familiar with Python and you want to create a virtual environment, all you have to do is say virtual env, then venv, and click enter. After that, to activate your virtual environment, all you have to do is source venv/bin/activate. If you have any error, you can also do this by saying, if you don't have any error, it means you don't have virtual env installed. And to do this, all you have to do is just say pip install virtual env. If you're on Mac, don't forget to put pip3 install virtual env. I already have this installed. So now we can start. So the first thing we need to do is install replicate. And to do this, all I'm going to say is, let me just activate my virtual environment. I'm going to say source venv/bin/activate to activate my virtual environment. Sorry, let me just see the out. I'll do this again. Let's see into stability-SDXL. Yeah, okay. Now our virtual environment is activated. Okay, the next thing we need to do now is to install replicate. All I have to say is pip install replicate and click enter. It's going to take a few seconds to actually install. So while that is installing, the next thing we need to do is create a.env file. And to do this, click on the new file on the file icon here and type .env. After that, we are going to head over to replicate and actually copy this. I copy the environmental variable name, which is replicate API token. So after you have copied this, the next thing you need to do is head over to your profile button here and click on API tokens. So once you click on API token, it's going to take you to this page. You can either create a new API token or actually use the default. I'm going to create a new API token called demo. Just say demo and click create. So once you click create, you see option here to either copy or actually refresh the API token to get new one or delete. So I'm just going to click on copy here. And after that, I'm just going to paste this API token here. So once that is done, you need to create a new file called main.py and you can start building. Okay, so let's go back to the module we're going to be using, which is stability-AI/SDXL. Then let's come down here and make few imports. So I'm just going to copy this code snippet and explain what this does. I'm going to say import replicate, and then I'm going to paste this. So the reason why we are not passing any API keys here is because we have already given it, we have already used this environmental variable name. If you use, and we use like, if you probably use something like replicate API web token, you will have to pass, the environmental, you have to set the API key manually. So that's why it's recommended to always use the environmental variable the developers actually recommend, so which is this. Okay, so after that, let me just explain what's happening here. So this is replicate, and this is a replicate SDK that actually runs every single module in their collections. So this is the module name. The module name is called Stability AI/SDXL, and this is the unique ID. So after that, we are specifying here the width and the height of the image. Here is the prompt, and here is the find special ID. The scheduler is they have a unique name to give the scheduler, which is K Evula, and we have other properties here. So another thing I want you to pay attention to here is negative prompt. So negative prompt is what are the things you don't want to be present in the image. For instance, let's go back to this image. We can say probably we don't want any water droplets. You can actually specify it on this negative prompt, and it's going to remove those water droplets. So that is what negative prompt is basically is. Okay. So now let's go ahead and run this. So to run this, all you have to just do is say Python and then main.py. By doing this, let's say you did not pass an authentication token. Okay, so what we forgot to do one more thing. So all we need to do is say pip install python.env. So what python.env does is that it actually goes into this .env file. It actually loads the file into our main.py. Let me show you how to do this. All you have to say is prompt.env import load.env and just say load.env. So by calling this load.env function, what it's actually doing is that it's actually loading all environmental variables here down to this file. So once we run this code, you're going to see it's going to execute. So I'm just going to say Python main.py. So now it has started executing. Okay, you can see the image that generated the image successfully. Now we can open the image and see this. You can see how brilliant this is. So let's try the negative prompt. So the negative prompt here, we're going to specify a negative prompt. So the negative prompt here will be, I'm going to say no water droplets. So these are negative prompts. So let's run this module again and see it in action. So it's going to take a few seconds, anywhere between 20 to 30 seconds. And now I have a new image. So let's view this. Okay. You can see the difference. The water droplets here are very visible. Here, they are not really visible. So this is what negative prompt basically does. So if you actually find this tutorial helpful, please consider subscribing and hitting the notification bell. And I am going to see you in the very next video.